Hello and welcome to Love Anything Art. Got another project for you today. Let's have some fun, guys. Hey, welcome. So glad you are here. Let's do it. All right, got some trans clay, Premo style. You can use any kind of trans clay you want. I personally prefer the old Premo because it's Premo. I'm going to do 10 different colors. Yes, I'm going bold, daring, and bold and daring here. You can do as many or as few colors as you want. I would do probably at least 3 or 4, but totally up to you. I did cut them out into relatively similar size thicknesses. It don't matter. How much ever you want, however little you want. Use some tin foil. You can catch all those messies and keep your area nice and clean, or as clean as it can be. Putting those bad boys on there, and then I'm gonna get some inks here, and just watch out, guys, because it's gonna be a color explosion on your screen. You ready? Any minute now. Any second now. Oh, yeah. These are all the beauties. Here we go. I have lake, grape, berry, cherry, turf, lilac, ocean, one of my favorites, bubblegum, another one of my favorites, limon, and sky. Beautiful colors. Use as many as you want. You can do the same color scheme if you want, but I want it to just kind of do a nice variety. Lots of color in here. Shake, and let's get our clay on. Just putting a little strip of the color on each of the pieces of clay, and then just go ahead and fold that over when it's done drying most of the way. I like to spread it out with my fingers, and I have 10 colors and 10 fingers, so each finger gets a smear. It's just what I like to do, so you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It don't matter. Do whatever you want. You just got to get that clay mixed up. I personally love it when the colors are a nice swirl. I just think it adds way more depth than you're going to get with just mixing the color until it's a solid color. And I'll show you here. I'm going to not cut away at all, so you can kind of see how I'm mixing mine and how much I'm mixing it and how I'm going to flatten it and all of that jazz. I do like to kind of roll it out a little bit. I just feel like this kind of just gives it an overall swirl pattern instead of just kind of, smushing it in your fingers. You can do it all. You can do it none. You can do whatever. You mix it as much as you want. You can mix it all the way if you want. It's however you like to mix it. Just be sure to mix it. And also you can make them as dark as you want. So if you wanted to put like 2 strips of color on there, you go ahead. I just was going for a lighter pastel-y kind of a look here. Now, I have found with my pieces that I've been making with translucent clay, the more colors I use and the more compact it is, which I'll show you later on in the video too, the darker the color seems to be in the oven. If I go for fewer colors, and once I get my veneer together, if I stretch it out pretty good, which usually distorts the pattern, but bear with me. If you stretch it out, it like stretches the color out and it seems to bake and is a bit lighter. Now you'll see at the end when the piece is done what I mean. I did come out with a darker piece, and you're like, look at all these beautiful light colors, right? I mean, you got some green and some blue. Maybe those are a little bit darker, but you got the pink and the red and the purple and the yellow and that other pinky kind of a color. But this piece overall comes out very, very dark. I just feel like the more colors and the more compact it is. So like if you roll it and squish all the colors together, it tends to come out darker. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a crazy. I mean, I probably am a crazy, but I'm just been playing a lot with translucent clay lately, so I'm just kind of giving you my opinion. Once you have all your beautiful colors rolled out into the same size-ish piece, thickness, width, dimension, depth, Then you can just stack them. You can stack them however you want to. I was trying not to get like two pinks together or two light colors together. I was kind of trying to go for a light and a dark color. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this red and green. No, Christmas. And I'm not ready yet, okay? So getting rid of the green for right this moment. And then I was like, purple? No. And then I was like, you know what? The yellow. The yellow and the red next to each other kind of reminds me of a starburst. I like it. I like it a lot. Or maybe I just have a really wicked sweet tooth. Just stack them all however you want to. I'm not going to roll these to where they're like, you know, all compacted. Now, you could probably do that and come up with a completely different tie-dye-ish kind of a look to your piece. I mean, I don't know, try it. See if you like it, you know? Just experiment. This is a small little chunk of clay. So technically, you know, you're not going to be wasting a whole lot. And if you do, chop it up, mix it up, make yourself a scrap clay piece of jewelry, because your future self will thank your previous self for coming up with such a beautiful piece. Scrap clay. It's the bomb. So like I said, just kind of giving a nice gentle roll ski and keeping it relatively in that squarish, rectangle-y kind of a shape. You got yourself a little clay sandwich there. Now, you do want to have all of the colors in the cutout. So you're going to want to flip this over so that all the colors are now stacked on top of each other. And then we're going to cut straight down into the piece. And that way, when you cut your chunks off from going straight down through that pink all the way down to the last color, you'll come up with your colors in a nice little row, plus the black clay that we're going to add to it. And you'll see what I mean as I go along. You just don't want to flip it over onto its side and do it to where you can actually see the slotted colors. I hope this makes sense as we go. I'm going to use black because I thought that would be the most contrasting color. I mean, you could probably do white if you wanted to. Might come out nice too. It'd be kind of cool to do half white and then half black, or whatever color that you think complements your rainbow of color that you got going on with your inks. And if you're having a hard time stretching out your clay, getting it super thin, just put it on a piece of paper and then use your roller. Hold your clay with one hand and then roll out, and then just keep flipping it over and stretching and rolling, and then you can get a relatively thin piece of clay without a pasta machine. No pasta machine needed today. And there you go. Mine came out pretty good. It's not Premo, so it's sculpty, so it tends to be a little wonky when it goes through the roller anyway, so I don't need that pasta machine. Okay, so let's put the black clay in between the two cuts so we can make our little sandwich. Just chop it down, cut it down to size. Just make sure it's not, overlapping a whole lot all the way around. Make it nice and neat and tidy. Let's keep the room tidy as we go, folks. Put your sandwich back together. Don't eat your clay because it's not really a sandwich. Look at how pretty those colors look. I just wish it would bake like that. Oh, it would just be so beautiful. You can make as many cuts as you want. I mean, what kind of creative license is that? That is amazing. You can make as many as you want. You just cut that bad boy up. Just don't cut it too deep. Okay, so you can go diagonal, side to side, kind of a thing like that, and all that jazz, but I would not recommend doing it straight on, flat, straight down like this. Because once you get your black clay in there and you have it all closed up, and then you're going to cut your sections, doop, 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 you're going to get to that and it's just going to be a long black streak. And you want to have the rainbow colors in there with that beautiful bold barrier color. So I'm going to cut all of mine at an angle. I am going to very briefly show you after each cut where I made the cut, so you can kind of see if you're wanting to really duplicate exactly to a T like what I'm doing. But honestly, I think you should make your cuts where you feel. So you put that X-Acto knife or your clay cutter tool on there and you just start cutting, and whatever your heart says to do, that's what I think you should do. Really, there's no right or wrong here. I mean, that's just the beauty of it. Make as many cuts as you want. The more, the merrier. So I got a couple more here. I'm going to make one there. Okay, once you got it all sliced up and re-put back together like a Frankenstein piece here that it is, you can give it a little bit of a roll, get everything nice and stuck together. Cut off the outside rim of the entire thing so you can get rid of all the messy pieces. Save those pieces. You can make a scrap clay piece, which I will do in the end. Oh yeah. And then I'm going to make a veneer out of this. Super simple, super easy. If you wanted to shave off pieces, you could do that. And then take those shaved off pieces and put it on a solid color clay or a piece of translucent clay that you have alcohol ink on, or just a plain piece of translucent clay, and make a veneer that way. I was going for something simple, something easy, and I kind of liked all these little squiggly lines in there. I'm going to take my creative license and I'm going to move these to what my heart says is the right order. I'm like, that's it right there, singing in my heart. Get it together, push it together, smoosh it together, get your veneer going, get all the smoothies in there. You can use your edge of your little knife tool there to get it all smooshed together like a compacted sandwich, and then give it a nice roll ski one way, the other way. Go all the ways. Roll one way, the other way. Just roll them. And then you can also burnish your piece. Just make it beautiful. Make it you. Make it sing. And then the back is going to come out a little differently too. Choose which side you like the best, of course. And then, of course, you can cut out your pieces. It's whatever you want. You could take this clay, and this is what I was talking about earlier. If I was to take this and just stretch it out a little bit more and then put it like on a piece of translucent clay, I feel like when I bake it, the colors tend to come out a little lighter. But I didn't do that. I didn't stretch the clay out. I just kind of rolled a little bit, put it together, burnished it. So my piece came out a little darker. I don't know. This is just something that I feel like I've been noticing with the translucent clay. I made a piece from my veneer, and then this is all the extra pieces. I was just kind of chopping, and stacking and chopping and putting back together. And then the piece on the left there, was a bunch of random pieces from the outside of my brick. And then I just kind of laid them all out because I was kind of deciding exactly how I wanted to make my veneer. So these are all those pieces smushed together. It was fun. Clay is fun. But I'm going to go ahead and slice those up, just stack it. It doesn't really matter. And you could really do whatever you wanted to. You could add some solid clay to this, put it on some solid clay, put little pieces of this on some solid clay, or mix it in with solid clay. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Just make some scrap stuff with your scraps. Don't waste the clay. And I kind of went into a little bit of detail here, showing you how I pushed all my pieces together. But, honestly, you can make whatever you want. But I honestly kind of I like both the pieces I made. The scrap and the veneer piece. But, of course, at the end of the video, I always show you, well, lately I've been showing you both. And you get to see both. The colors did come out pretty light in some spots, but that black clay did darken it up a bit. I think if I would have stretched out the clay a little bit more, it would have seemed like a lighter piece. Hopefully you understand what I mean. And, of course, I just randomly made a cutter pattern and cut it out and resined it. And then this one is the scrap. I really like it. It's like little jaggedy lines, looks like really, really dry dirt when it hasn't been watered in 3 years, and it's all cracked and stuff, like a desert almost. Kind of peely. I don't know. I kind of like it. I think I might like the scrap clay piece better than the original. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. And then this is another piece I made from the scraps. It was just a little spickle spackle I had left, so I put it in a mold, and it was a beautiful little heart. Popped it out, resin. There you go. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!